Yo, what's going on, Nomads? Welcome to episode 15 of Backspace Nomads. I'm Brian, and of course, the co-host for the show is Monica. Monica, how are you doing today?
I am good.
Cool. You have the best intros. I'm good.
How are you doing?
Good. It's the fucking worst. On the pod today, we are reviewing the card game Gwent. Our guest for the day is going to be UnicornGaming from Beam. He's going to take part in a quiz bowl on what came first, and he's going to share with us his time of game. But Monica, how's your week been going? What have you been up to?
Oh, just living the life, making that money.
Getting it. Just getting it.
I've been getting it over and over. Back here this week, excited to talk about Gwent. Yes. I actually really am. And I'm excited to be hanging out with you, to
Yeah? Nice. That's one person in my life.
Out of 15 episodes. Nice. No, I'm just kidding.
To all you bullies back in high school, one person. All right, you were wrong.
This week's been busy for me. But we had talked a little bit about what discussion we wanted to hit up for this episode, and Valve ended up being kind of where we landed, right?
We've kind of been thinking about touching on a VR conversation, but we didn't know how to frame it to bring it up on the pod. But then there was this article from Polygon where they started talking about Valve not really making games anymore and kind of being silent on the game front in terms of development. Valve basically had two of their big writers leave the studio within the past year. And so what Polygon was trying to say, maybe this is a signal from Valve that they are no longer developing games in a single player manner. But they are developing 3 games right now in the VR realm. And they're in long development. They're not just tech demos or hey, look at these shiny things in VR. They're legitimate games. So what do you think? Do you think Valve's in the best position in the industry to go into VR?
So actually, I feel like, one of the things that the article that we are talking about hit on is that Valve can do what it wants to do.
Yes.
It has all of the choices. It can take its time. It can not take its time. It can throw whatever it wants out there. And so the fact that they are focusing on 3 VR games, and they've talked about that, I think that's really interesting. I haven't personally jumped heavily into VR yet. I haven't really spent any time with it. I don't have VR headset.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, even as we are looking for games to review week after week, we find a lot of titles that seem interesting, and then we realize that they are VR driven, that you need to be playing these in virtual reality. And so I think it's interesting because I almost wonder if Valve is concentrating so heavily on VR and they are not really talking too much about anything else, they can invest where they want to invest, then I'm assuming they think that VR is where gaming is headed.
Yes.
And I don't know if I agree with that, I guess.
Well, I think it's hard to agree with that because we haven't seen a game developed in VR that really pushes it and shows us what VR kind of is meant to be and can be. Right now, we just kind of have tech demos that's it's just kind of a short first-person shooter type of deal in VR, and it's just it's a bells and whistles thing. And I think Valve, because they set themselves up so well, they can take the time to really think about what you can do with VR and why it sets us apart as a platform. So that's why I'm extremely interested, and I think that it's a little when the article says right place, right time. Valve is a very forward-thinking company. The reason Steam is as good as it is, remember 10 years, 15 years back when Steam was released, no one was doing something like that. And they said, no, this is what internet delivery can be. So I think they take that mentality and they apply it to anything they do. That's why I'm very excited for their VR movements, because they're going to do that with VR. They know this is what everyone else is doing, but they have an idea in their heads on what it can really be. And I think Gabe Newell is just a majestic human being, and I can't wait to see what worlds he puts me in virtually.
Oh
I get a little misty about Gabe.
When I think VR though, and this is outdated, like me. So I'm
just an old man.
I'm just an old lady. But when I think about VR, I think about going to the old shopping mall, the big old mall that got put down, and they had that arcade going, and oh man, if I was good, I got to go to the arcade, and I got to get some quarters, because people still had quarters.
If you did your chores.
If I did my chores, and I would go and I would put those quarters in the machines, and I would only do the virtual reality games if I had been really good, because they were expensive. They took way more quarters than the traditional arcade games. And it was cool and I liked it, but I think about those games and I don't know, I just don't. I'm like, we've kind of been there before with gaming, and it didn't totally take off, and maybe I'm just, like I said, maybe I'm just old and I'm not forward thinking enough. And I just like my TV the way it is.
I like my controller and my eyeballs where they are.
I like my eyeballs, and I like my controller, and I like to be on my couch. Gosh darn it. But I don't know why I just went redneck there, but
because they're living in the past and we all know it.
Oh yeah, that's right, you're correct. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm not thrilled about the idea of having to have a headset on in order to game. And there are so many games coming out that are exciting, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I mean, what are your feelings towards VR? Is that what you want? Do you want to have to sit down and have a VR headset on and be in a different reality, or do you think that gaming will continue to have a place with just you and your PC?
I think it'll have a place. I think every company's kind of pushing this thing where you like move around in place and stuff. I don't think that's where the VR market's going to be. I think it's going to be sitting at your computer with like a headset type of thing on, and then you're in the world. And like that might not be possible. You might get like motion sickness or whatever, but I definitely don't want to be moving around my place. Like it seems like a novelty to kind of be like turning my body and shooting. But I'm not a big fan of VR, only because it doesn't seem like that big of a jump. Like, hey, yeah, now I can look around in my world. It's cool. And then like the next day I'm like, well, that was good. Let me just go back to my PC and play Overwatch or something. So
right.
I'm just...
Yeah, it's just not, I don't know. It's not there yet. I mean, though, I will say that if Valve's concentrating on 3 different games right now, and they can do whatever the heck they want, these games have a chance to be amazing. And if I could have been Link in Zelda, if I could have felt like I was Link in Zelda, that would I think have just changed my world. Zelda already, Ocarina of Time already changed my world as a youngling, and I'm ready for it to change my world again as an adult if I can suddenly be Link.
Yeah.
But I don't want to pursue Zelda. I'm gonna put that out there. I want to pursue the horse breeder, Marin.
What?
Yeah, I just, I know this isn't really related to what we're talking about, but I just need it documented somewhere. Marin, I love you.
I need it for record.
Yeah, I need this recorded.
Yeah, but 100% Half-Life 3 is going to come out on VR. That's what they're working on. It's got to be in some fashion. And I'll bet money they're working on an MMO, because I think MMO are like the big platform for VR. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun.
Because Facebook's already working on their like, hey, we're in Facebook and you're in virtual reality, you're in this room. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the next push forward to MMOs that like changes the market probably, is like a VR MMO game.
Yeah.
All right. So let's jump right into our review for Gwent, the wonderful card game. Gwent is in closed beta right now from CD Projekt Red. It's a card game where gamers clash with their friends in a fast-paced duel that combines bluffing, on-the-fly decision-making, and careful deck construction. The game is played over a best-of-3 series of rounds as players unleash their hand by slinging spells, diverse units, and special abilities, and use clever tricks to deceive their opponents. Expectations for Gwent. I know we are both big Witcher players, so what were you thinking going into this?
Right. So heads up, Gwent is the card game in the Witcher franchise.
Yes.
When you are playing on any of the Witcher games, when you are in the game, there are cards, and it's basically gambling. You know, you can gamble in the game. It's a game within the game, and it's called Gwent. I played all three Witcher. I went out and bought the box set. Like, I had the physical box for the first Witcher. My laptop wouldn't run it, obviously. I was an idiot. I don't know why I thought my laptop, my crappy old Toshiba, like, brick, it looked like a giant, like, I don't know, concrete brick, would not run it. And so I ended up having to go out and buy a brand new laptop just to play this game. And I did it because I was that excited about it. So Gwent is a game within that game, and now they have made it like a standalone game, card game. And so my expectations were low because I fucking hated Gwent in The Witcher.
You are out of your mind. How could you hate Gwent in The Witcher?
I didn't like it.
No?
You know what? Maybe I am out of my mind. That's not the debate here. But I didn't enjoy it. I never really got into it. It wasn't a dynamic in the game. I was like, oh, cool, you can play this card game in the game. Haha, that's cool. I'm actually just going to go out and have sex with people because I'm not a loser. So that's what I did in The Witcher. For those of you guys that have never played The Witcher, you can pursue lots of ladies. And so that's how I treated Gwent. It was a thing. There were some instances where like you kind of had to play it in order to progress or like whatever. And I would do the bare minimum that the game introduced you when they introduced you to Gwent, and then I'd move on. But I just never really got into it. So my expectations for this were low. I'm like, man, this is The Witcher, but without everything I like.
Yeah.
And just Gwent.
Just Gwent. Well, I'm going the complete opposite. This was a very high on the expectation rating for me. Unlike you, I had very little interest in virtual ass and like getting it. I played Gwent way more than I played The Witcher 3's story. I spent hours just playing Gwent. I don't know why. It was very exciting for me. I loved finding the cards and stuff.
You know what? Did you play the first Witcher?
I played a little bit of it. I played probably like 2 hours of it.
So let me just say that in the first Witcher, every time you have sex, you get a card, and it's a titty card. Okay, you get a picture of the lady that you just banged.
Yeah,
it's so fucked up, really. But like, I was more interested in collecting that card deck than the Gwent card deck. All right.
Yeah. Had that been the case, sure, I'll agree with you there. But like, I was a big Hearthstone player. I've played card games my whole life. I was a big nerd. I played Magic the Gathering. I'm a legitimate dork, didn't get laid in school type of dude, you know? So
I mean, I didn't get laid in school type of dude too, but I was a lady. And I also enjoyed Magic the Gathering, but I don't know. It was like I finally got to get laid, not for real, in a game, and that's what I focused on. So I don't know. We're just different. We're just
approach. Two sides of a card, you know?
Right, yep.
So what are the things that you like about Gwent?
Okay. So, I was a little excited because I love the characters, I love the enemies, and everything within The Witcher. And so Gwent obviously is going to piggyback on a lot of these enemies and characters that you have experienced and seen before. And I had to kind of take a step back a little bit because I was thinking about this and I'm like, man, I am just so excited that I am somewhere in the Witcher universe and it is fresh. Mm-hmm. Would someone that had never played The Witcher like this? And so I really had to take a step back in a sense to think about it as its own game, not as a continuation of a franchise that I am deeply in love with.
Right.
And so from that standpoint, I would say that one of the first things that I enjoyed about it was the actual art of the cards, as well as the occasional animation and everything that you experience with some of the main characters that are in that franchise. So some of the cards have animation coinciding with them.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
The gold cards, whatever, like the very special, the rare ones have the animations.
Cards, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I think the art is definitely, maybe this is because we play indie games. A lot of things aren't as finished as they would like to be, but just like the polish of this game felt really good to sit and play with, like the artwork, the sound, the way all the menus interacted with each other. It just felt good to be in the game. CD Projekt Red obviously knows what they're doing. They've crafted a massive game way beyond the scale of this, and so I really liked that. I loved going in there and like starting to build the decks and stuff. I think the next thing for me would probably be the strategy of Gwent. Do you enjoy how much strategy goes into this game, or is that just me being a complete dork?
So I actually think that the difficulty to Gwent is part of the appeal, and that is one of the things that I enjoyed about it. Mm-hmm. It is not something that you can just jump into it, but you're not going to be very successful. There is strategy involved. You do have to think about the types of cards that you're playing, and it's not really based on luck. However, I guess what I would say is that Gwent is based enough on strategy that when you win, you feel good about it.
Oh yeah.
If you don't win, you don't beat yourself up too hard. Because it's difficult, and so the focus is definitely on the win, on the feel of the win, and I like that a lot. I like the feeling of achievement there, of outwitting the person that you're playing against. Which, by the way, you can play against another person right now in beta. I'm sure this will be the same when it comes out fully, and you can also play against the computer. So.
That felt really good too, just being able to play Gwent against another person. So, like, when you get beat, you just don't feel like a computer, like, smashed you. You're like, no, there's another human there who's smart. Like, it's not just me.
And that's another human that has probably, they signed up for this, so they probably played The Witcher. And, like, you can kind of put yourself in at that bar table, like, looking across from them,
Getting ready. I'm glad that you brought up the RNG because, like, I was a big Hearthstone player, and the thing that really took me away from the game was the amount of RNG and like just the luck involved in that game. Gwent, you know what's going on, you make all the decisions, and it's like you versus another person, and there's no chance of anything. Like if you want to take out a card or you're gonna debuff another card, like you select it, and that is so fun to do, and it's so much more rewarding than just dropping a RNG card that like somehow magically pulls out a win from buttfuck. Like it's a lot more fun for me. So I do enjoy, like, the strategy in Gwent is probably the best seller for me. This is a game where like I was starting to feel like the pulls of an addiction. I got about 5 or 6 hours into the game, and I was just like, I don't know if I can put this down. Like I was looking at my girlfriend, I was like, I know your birthday's coming up, but if I buy like 20 of these card packs, I might have a better chance at leveling up. Anything else for things that you liked?
I also started similarly to you, started feeling like, oh man, I could get lost in this game.
Yes.
8 hours could pass. I could have a full beard. and and wonder what happened. Or just wake up and be 45 and wonder, I'm like, oh no,
where did the time
ovaries
go?
Have all shriveled up. Whoops. So yeah, I definitely liked it. Whoopsie doopsie. I guess I'll just keep getting laid in the Witcher. So yeah, I know. I definitely it was enjoyable. It's fast paced. I liked that about it. And it's enjoyable enough that yes, I'm not even a big card game player like you are, but I could see myself jumping into this and quickly having to make a schedule for myself so I didn't ruin my life.
Yes, that's, you got to set boundaries with card games. They destroy a lot.
I'm not gonna lie, I put down on some solitaire on my PC, and that is even a game where like you could just kind of go on and on and on, and it just never ends.
You're on a bridge by yourself on that one, dude.
Oh,
Solitaire. No, solitaire is not fun at all.
Well, we are not reviewing solitaire tonight, but
well, speaking of things that feel stale, let's go into the things that I dislike. One of the big things for some reason, and maybe this is because I've played Hearthstone, and Hearthstone is such an engaging card game on the computer. Sometimes the games would start to feel stale and uninvolved to me. I don't think there's enough animation going on overall on the entire screen to kind of like pull you in. So there was a few times where I was just like, it felt like just a couple of standard movements, and I wasn't really thinking a lot. And I felt myself pull back, and I don't know why, because I like overall was really enjoying myself, and I do think it was just the animations that come up for certain cards. I think there needs to be kind of more of that for it to work as a computer game.
So I agree with you in a way, but I don't think it's necessarily the animations. I think that there's a lack of story here, and I think that part of the reason why Gwent is so fun, even though in the game for a lot of people, is because you're also playing it within a story. And I know that this is a card game, but I almost I think it would be intriguing if they had a story dynamic to it. Like, I don't know how that would even be included, but if there was some type of story dynamic, I just think it's really interesting, so I had that same con as you. However, I think a big part of the reason why I didn't feel like that there was any real story going on, that it felt detached, was because of the art style, which you said that it seemed polished. I felt like it looked very rudimentary. I didn't feel like I was in a tavern somewhere that I was across when I was looking at the way that this was designed, the colors and everything, just even the artwork outside of the cards themselves. The artwork for the actual game doesn't really match the card artwork at all, and I felt like it was almost like childish and simple. So I think that there is a lot of room for improvement there. And if I felt more immersed in the background, and like even they kind of have this like wood shading, and it doesn't look like wood, you if I felt like I was sitting at a table and playing across from somebody, like that would do it for me.
Yeah.
Almost like, I'm almost creating my own game here, and I realize that. But if you sat down and you got to see, like, if you made a character for yourself for this game, if you customized a character, you sat down across from another customized character, you then looked down, the camera panned down onto a wooden table where you have your motherfucking cards, and then you start playing, that would do it for me. I would be like, all right, I got my margarita, very medieval, like, here.
Yeah, very medieval.
Very medieval, and I am ready to kick some ass.
I think you're spot on with that critique. That is actually probably that's probably what it was, is that you don't feel like you're in the world, you're just kind of in a game. Like a blanket card game. Like if this was on a web browser, they wouldn't have to change anything. Like that's how kind of rudimentary, like you said, it felt. And I think the only other dislike I do have of the game would be the fact that sometimes you don't understand 100% what's going to happen from the cards you play. There's not good, like a heads up. Like if I play this card, what's going to be destroyed on the board? What's going to be debuffed on the board? And I would like that more. I'm sure if you took the time to figure it out, you could, but especially for new players and stuff, that's definitely a hurdle that you have to jump before you really start to get better at the game. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's something that I definitely don't like and disliked in it.
I guess the last thing for me is that, right now this is in beta, so you don't have an entire collective of people that are working to create strategy, that are putting things out there for it. I mean, you can kind of base it off of the Gwent in game, but I think that when this is fully out, there will be a community that gathers around it, and that's something that's going to come. Right now it's not there, so it's really, you can't knock this game for that at all. It's around the corner, and I think that it will make this game even more fun. But, with that kind of lacking at this very moment, you do feel a little isolated, I would say.
A lot of Xbox players, too, on this. You can kind of see where the person's playing from. A lot of Xbox players, which is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, that is actually really interesting.
Yeah, so final thoughts for me on The Witcher. I can't wait to play more of it. It's definitely a game I just want to sit down when I have like a couple of days off and just really dig into and really play and start to figure out more of it. And like I said earlier, like we're about to get addicted to the game. The podcast is about to suffer. It's just going to be about Gwent, and like I'm sorry. I'm just going to apologize ahead of time and just buckle up, guys, because production quality might go down on this thing. What about you, Gwent? Final thoughts?
So your thumbs up.
Thumbs up, big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. A big old swollen thumb.
Yeah, that's only
because
because, I'm a hefty guy. It's not because of anything else.
Oh, no. I was not trying to
No.
that. Okay.
I know. I'm just an asshole. You're a very nice person.
I'm a great person. So I am also a thumbs up. We decided to play this, and like I said, this was not something that I really dived into. Was not a Hearthstone. I don't know. Player, and I really enjoyed this. And when I did separate myself from the fact that I was like looking at characters that I have grown to love and looking at enemies that I had grown to hate from the games, I thought, would I like this without all of that?
Mm-hmm.
And I would. I do think that there's some room for improvement there. But overall, I would, and I definitely will continue to play this outside of this week. So, a lot of times I even realize a game is good, but I don't necessarily intend on going and returning to it. This is not the case for that. I enjoyed it enough that I'm willing to turn 45 and not know what happened.
Shrivel my ovaries up on Gwent.
Yep, I'm willing to shrivel my ovaries for Gwent.
So Gwent, 2 thumbs up from Backspace Nomads. Make sure to check it out if you get a closed beta key or whenever it comes into open beta. By the way, a big thank you to Mike from My Community for getting us some beta keys for this thing. Much appreciated, my friend. When we come back, we're going to go to intermission, and when we come back, the Beam streamer, Unicorn Gaming, is going to join us to share his time of game and participate in the quiz bowl. We'll be right back, everybody.
Woo!
Welcome back, and thank you for sitting through that break. On the pod today, our guest is Unicorn Gaming, the Beam.Pro streamer. You can find him on Beam.Pro/Unicorn Gaming or on Twitter at UnicornGaming93. Welcome to the pod. How you doing, man?
I am doing good, thank you. How you guys doing?
Good. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So you're our first Beam guest we've ever had on the pod. How'd you get into Beam?
Well, actually, I originally started on Twitch. I was stumbling around, found a guy called Dragon's Lair, still known to this day, great guy. He decided to do the move over to Beam after talking to a few Beam streamers, and I've pretty much been on Beam now since January, really.
Nice.
That's awesome.
What kind of games are you into?
What games have you been playing recently?
Well, I originally started with the Telltale Walking Dead series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Went pretty well. First stream, cried on stream.
Yeah,
So, went well.
I did too. I cried a lot.
Just all the feels, like dark. Ugh.
Yeah.
But, recently, I got into playing Siege. It's a game I had for ages.
Rainbow Six?
Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
It's usually my go-to game. But I've dabbled in other games, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Overwatch, stuff like that, but it's always been Siege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that Siege apart from like Counter-Strike? Because everyone tries to get me to play it, but I just don't.
See, you've got like Counter-Strike, the squad base got an objective. Pretty much the same with Siege, but it is so dependent on teamwork. You've got individual characters rather than just being like, you just choose your guns. And they've each got like abilities, like a specialization really. Like some can see electronics through walls, some can see heart pulses through walls, some can fire grenades through walls.
Yeah.
Which is always fun on hostage, because blowing up the hostage, lovely.
I think in all games it's like that. Even in Counter-Strike, like when you kill a hostage, you're like, okay, that was kind of fun.
I don't know what it's like to kill anything because I'm so bad that I just know what it's like to run and scream and lose.
See, Siege, you can do that.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So let's jump into our quiz bowl here. This quiz bowl, we're going to be doing another round of what came first. Monica and Unicorn are going to go against each other. I will name off 2 games, and you will tell me which one was released first. We're going to rotate it. First, we'll go with UnicornGaming, and then Monica will answer a question. If every question is worth a point, if we tie, we'll go to a tiebreaker, which is closest to the pin. Do we both understand these rules?
What is? Wait, closest to the pin?
Yeah, like we'll
What's
say
the
like
pin?
we'll say like a number, like when was this game released, and the person who gets closest to that number wins.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Right.
I'm with you.
Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. I'm ready.
Get ready
I'm ready
for the quiz bowl.
Oh, I'm flexing my gluteus maximus so hard right now.
Fully clenched. The first question to Unicorn. Which came out first, Shenmue or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
You don't know what Shenmue is.
No fucking idea.
Neither do I. I'm so glad you got this one.
You guys don't know what Shenmue is? That's okay.
No.
All right.
I'm going to say Tony Hawk Pro Skater because I knew that was on the PlayStation 1.
You are correct. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater came out 2 months before Shenmue.
Damn.
1 point to Unicorn. Monica.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Taxi or Gran Turismo?
Ooh.
Crazy Taxi. I don't even know what Crazy Taxi is.
You're-
It sounds old as hell, though.
it is
was
old.
the best.
It is an old game, but shockingly enough for you, Gran Turismo is older. Gran Turismo 1997, Crazy Taxi 1999.
Oh man, I played the shit out of Gran Turismo. But like, taxis, they're almost not even around any. Oh man. All right, I'm defeated.
All right, Unicorn. Next question: Super Smash Brothers Melee or Tekken?
Tekken. No.
Uh-oh.
Super Smash Bros.
Final answer?
No, but I'll go with that one.
So Super Smash Brothers was first?
Yes, because I remember that being on the Nintendo 64 before the GameCube. And Tekken was PlayStation 1.
I'm sorry for my information. Tekken was released in 1994. Super Smash Brothers 2001. Ooh. I am so sorry. Sorry.
That's okay.
Monica. Luigi's Mansion or Fable?
What the hell is Luigi? Luigi has a mansion.
You are not a gamer.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a mansion. He's a Ghostbuster who goes in and Ghostbusts a mansion.
Maybe I do remember this. Wait,
God,
it's
what
between
can I
that or
have?
Fable?
Yes.
Luigi's Mansion.
You are correct. Luigi's Mansion 2001, Fable 2004. You guys are tied up 1-1 now. Unicorn.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Mortal Kombat or Tomb Raider?
Mortal
Oh.
Kombat.
You are correct. Mortal Kombat,
That is so
1992.
bullshit. That is just bullshit.
I'm
Right,
sorry.
look at that. No,
I don't make the questions up.
You do, though. Okay.
Monica, Doom or Star Fox? Which was released first?
I don't know. Star Fox? Star Fox.
Doom, December 10th, 1993. Star Fox, March 26, 1993. You're correct.
Oh, I got
What?
it.
You are
Also,
correct.
Fuck you. Also, fuck you. Mortal Kombat vs. Tomb Raider, and then you give me something that's 6 foot.
How dare you? How dare you?
I am being treated cruelly here. I just want to put that out there.
I'm gonna need you to simmer down, or we're gonna take a point off the board. All right? This is a family friendly game show.
Simmer down. Ooh, that's it. I'm going to my margarita.
I'll be back later. Unicorn, Parappa the Rappa, or Psychonauts?
Parappa the Rappa?
The only time I knew of Psychonauts on PlayStation 2, but Papa the Rapper, I remember having that on like a PlayStation 1 demo, so I'm probably going to go with that.
You are correct. Parappa the Rappa, 1996. Psychonauts, 2005.
Damn, Unicorn Gaming, you're good at this.
I have no life.
All right, the next one is going to be Soul Calibur 2 or Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
You are correct. Street Fighter was released in 1994. I'm sorry, it was Street Fighter 2. You're correct either way. But 1994, Soul Calibur 2002.
I was like, Soul Calibur.
I'm so sorry.
Street Fighter. Like, come on, dude. This was... I honestly, I felt like you put that in there just to try to make me look like a complete idiot.
No, not at all. That is never my goal.
No, never. Let's not happen.
All right, the next one is for Unicorn. Crash Bandicoot or Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot.
You are correct. Crash Bandicoot, 1996. Legacy of Kain, 1999.
Brian, are you just looking up these dates as you're going, or are you just purposefully giving us suspense?
I'll be honest with you. This one question, the second part of it was missing in my. So there was on the fly game show running.
I was like, he's either really good at like suspense, or he has no fucking clue that.
I am a master of suspense. All right, I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Oh my god!
All right, the last one is for Monica to tie it up. Battlefield 1942 or Halo, which was released first?
Halo.
You are correct. Halo was released in 2001. Battlefield 1994 was released in 2002. So, we have a tie.
You did.
4-4.
Wow. I think this is one of the best I've ever done.
It is.
I've enjoyed it.
You are you're coming up in the ranks of the Quiz Bowl. You've taken your licks.
I'm finally a gamer girl.
I made it. Mom.
I made it.
All right. Closest to the pin.
Okay.
In what month and year was EverQuest released?
Wait, can we go over on this or no?
Can I like quickly Google on my phone?
No! What? You are you one of those people at
nothing.
trivia night that is like trying to like look down, into their pocket?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, how much change do
I'm
I
just
have?
really tired.
Yeah. Month and year for EverQuest.
EverQuest. The hit massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
I'm gonna say March of
That's not a year.
Good year.
March of fuck. I'm gonna say March of fuck. I'm gonna say March of.
I donated to that charity last week.
97.
March of 1997. Unicorn, what is your guess?
I'm going to go for June of 99.
EverQuest was released in March of 1999. Unicorn, you are the new reigning champ of Quiz Bowl. Congratulations. All the accolades. You earned it.
You
Thank you.
with me, dude.
How?
I didn't even know what EverQuest was.
You son of a gun. Oh my god. I was so excited. I thought I had nailed it. I thought I had done better than I've ever done before.
When you said March, I about lost it. I was like, she hits 1999. I don't think we can play Quiz Bowl again. But guess you didn't.
Oh, fuck. That was painful. That was painful.
Well, thank you for participating in the Quiz Bowl.
I'm shaking your hand right now. Good job. You were a worthy competitor.
Thank you.
Oh,
so let's move into our time of game segment with UnicornGaming.
Yes.
So
now that I'm just totally battered, I need a good story to just like relax and forget about my woes.
Well, this will make you feel better about life.
Oh,
so
good.
Time of Game is a segment where we bring on a gamer to share one of their life stories that kind of involves gaming. It's a look into their personal life, but the personal life of a gamer. UnicornGaming.
Life of a gamer.
What is your time of game?
Mine is the months of Dark Souls.
Ooh.
So, let me set the scene. This is me back in university, back in a small little inbred town known as Aberystwyth in Wales, where pretty much all there is to do is get drunk and have promiscuous sex. That's pretty much about it, because any other civilization is well over an hour away.
You just described like 96% of the planet, I think.
Pretty much. But of course, I was the cool kid, so I decided to sit in my room and play video games and do pretty much nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like that's also 99% of the new world, you know?
it is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was going through Dark Souls, doing my thing, farming some souls in the Grand Archives. Now, I've been at this for a while, well over an hour. And any of you that have played Dark Souls, you know the Grand Archives has a lot of high up places with deadly drops.
All right.
And they do kind of require some skill to traverse. Well, because I'm so elite, I had no issue with those. For me, it was the lift. The lift that got me.
I'm
I
sorry.
died previously.
What's a lift?
I do apologise. An elevator.
Oh my god, Brian, don't do this to our poor guest. Jesus.
I'm from the South. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do apologise.
The lift. Whoop, whoop. For those of you
anyway.
guys listening, I'm currently raising my hand to show it lifting and lowering for Brian.
I totally get it now. Before I was confused.
Mind blown.
Should really go into teaching.
Okay,
Definitely.
so the lift. So you met the lift.
Yes. So in Dark Souls, when you die, you can go back and pick up your souls.
Right.
So I died in there. I think it was some of the mobs that just ganged up on me and I messed up. So I'd gone through, ran back from the spawn point to go and get them. But as you go up to the elevator, it doesn't bring it back down, even when you die. I hadn't thought about this, so naturally, I run straight into the elevator shaft, think it's going to be there, and what do? I fall to my death.
Yeah.
Lost around 112,000 souls. Now, when you're going for your first playthrough, that's about 20 levels worth of souls.
Wow. Yeah.
So, let's just say I was a little pissed. My controller at the time, I had to get rid of it, had teeth marks in it, and the bumpers didn't work. I full took out my rage on it. It was the controller's fault, not mine. If it wasn't a knockoff one off eBay, I would have written a complaint. So yeah, naturally, there's obviously a lot of swearing going on. So when the coast was clear, I heard a knock at my door. Because obviously one of my housemates had overheard this. I lived with 7 other people in my second year.
Oh, wow.
Because obviously everyone, as you know, if you're going to university, you're piss poor. So you're all sleeping in the cupboards.
Right. So you're
I
in your
literally
room,
was.
screaming. They hear something like, sounds like a giant rodent gnawing on something hard, and then you hear a knock.
Pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. I'm with you.
So yes, and it was my housemate. Well, first of all, I was talking about the cupboard in my room. Mine literally was, I could fit a single bed across, no other room. And then the bed, desk, and a wardrobe, that was it. You could get nothing else in there.
Nice.
Did you have
paying
to
the lap of
did
luxury.
you have any floor room next to your bed, or did you just like kind of like crawl onto your bed and then like you had
Pretty much
the
crawled
desk?
onto it.
Oh wow, cool.
It was awful, especially with the chair. But the bonus was, heating was cheap because I was using a 32-inch TV. And that made the room so warm. It was an issue. And the only benefit of it was...
Right side of life.
Well, exactly. We live right on the coast. So I literally had to roll over and I could see out to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So that was a
nice.
bonus.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
But anyway, knock at the door. It was my housemate, Kenise. Maltese girl. Beautiful, you know, long brown hair, tanned complexion. Could pull off a red lip. So, you know, you were jealous.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm jealous right now.
Me too.
exactly. Me too. Um, she decided, you know what, I can tell Uni's pissed. So let's go and see if we can get Uni drunk. She'd been invited to a rugby social. That was fancy dress. First of all, she didn't play rugby. Let's say the rugby players played with her.
Oh, whoa.
She'd
Okay.
been
That
around.
red lip.
She lived up to the red lip. So no, but lucky enough, I knew a lot of the rugby lot because I used to do first aid for their games because I was part of the first aid team. So I usually knew them either on the floor bleeding, something dislocated, or a bone poking out. That was my usual interaction with them. Always entertaining.
Natural.
I'm safe to say the worst thing ever seen is a shin bone poking out the skin.
Gross.
That
seems
will
like
make
it needs
you.
more than just like first aid. I don't know if first aid is used
Yeah,
differently. Where you
we kind
are,
of talked
but,
about
like,
what to do, but
you're
none
like,
of us wanted to touch it.
I have a bandage.
Hey, so this is
I
about my...
don't know if that's going to work here.
Would
Just
you
wrap
like
it.
an ice pack for it?
I know.
Would that work? So I was down to clown, ready to get shit faced. Put on this exact unicorn onesie.
No,
I've had
you
it for
did
Lord
not.
knows how long now. This exact unicorn onesie.
Oh my
The amount of
goodness.
vomit this has been covered in.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
I am so proud of you. For those listening, Unicorn Gaming is a full-blooded unicorn and is currently in a beautiful pink and white unicorn onesie. So it's glorious
With wings on the back of it.
with wings. Oh, so like a Pegasus unicorn, which is even more
Ooh.
rare.
Even more magical.
Yes.
So yeah. Now, if you ever drunk with like rugby lot, it's usually a competition of who can drink the most. And naturally, most of them averaging at 6'2", towered over me. I'm a measly 5'10". So it pretty much ended with me consuming 23 Sambuca shots. This is me being
What?
informed. I do not remember. There's more. My usual go-to poison, which was a triple vodka, lime cordial and lemonade. I had 3 of those. And then several pints of cider. We kind of lost count after a while. So as you can tell, I've been mixing. I am ruined.
Yeah.
Do not remember any of it. Anything I've been told has been told to me by people.
And unicorns normally just eat like cotton candy and grass, so this is
Cotton
very
candy, grass, and
strange.
ice cream.
Yeah, this is very strange, right?
So yeah. After all this, my most recent recollection is waking up to some 6'7" Chewbacca partially on top of me. Naked.
Ooh.
Literally.
Was he doing push-ups?
Because naturally. we'd been doing something physical.
Right.
I wouldn't call it push-ups.
Oh.
There's certainly some pushing. Anywho. So, you know, obviously, normal situation. Totally wasn't stressed. Wondering where I was. After an awkwardly waking up, you know, we chatted. So that was the start. And the thing that was odd about it is, because you have like a usual hookup, you pretty much go there, do it, and you're gone. Never talk to each other ever again.
Right.
He made me breakfast in bed. Let me stay over when he went to lecture to sleep off my hangover, and then came back. And then we chatted some more. And that's what was really weird. So naturally we exchanged numbers. We seem to have hit it off.
Right.
Someone's stealing your M&Ms again. So yeah, we changed numbers, went our separate ways. A few days later, to my surprise, I think I was actually still playing Dark Souls this time. Literally, as soon as I get into a game, I no life it. So a few days have passed, and I received a text off him asking if you want to get something to eat. Now, as you know, if you've ever been a student, you're piss poor, so you try and find the cheapest alternative. Now, in the UK, there's a restaurant chain called Wetherspoons. They do your standard, like, slap up pub food. So you've got, like, your burgers, your fish and chips, all that kind of crap. So obviously, we were there along with every other Tom, Dick and Harry student, because that's all we can afford if we want to go out and be fancy. Otherwise, it's noodles and toast.
So you're on
so this went on for
classy date at
feeling very fancy
with Dan, the push-up boy.
The push-up Chewbacca.
Yeah, got it.
Dan, not his real name, just that's his imaginary name.
So this went on for a few weeks. You know, all lovey-dovey. And then he asked, you know, let's make this a bit more serious. So we do, you know, 6 months of the full honeymoon period. Flowers, breakfast in bed, you know, full-blown triple X sessions. The whole kit and caboodle. But the main thing that kept us entertained was that I found out that he was also a lover of Dark Souls 2 and also PC player, which is really rare.
Right.
Shockingly enough. So we'd end up playing it together, going through all the old ones with, and if you ever played the first one, you know how hard that is to do fucking co-op because it's so buggy. And then we do a lot of PvP in Dark Souls 3, which really piss off people because they wouldn't expect 2 people. So anyway, this goes on for 6 months, you know, amazing. Suddenly I get a text off him and we need to talk.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So, completely confused because I thought it might be something a bit bigger because, shockingly enough, and yes, judge me what you will, we were young, dumb and full of dreams. We'd had looked at engagement rings.
Aww.
He comes over to tell me that it's not working. Being completely shocked and thrown off, out come the tears. Naturally, you know. So we exchange our things that we gave to each other. One that I gave him for his birthday was a Ralph Lauren wallet, and the fucker thought he can keep it. I don't fucking think so. I've literally just got rid of it because it got a hole in it. It actually was expensive and really nice. But the one thing that upset me the most, I had to give back his Drake hoodie. And Drake makes hoodies where they're super long in body. So for me, it went down to my knees. I loved it because I could just wear that and do nothing else for the day. But through all this, I never asked why. Why the breakup?
Yeah.
And naturally, you know, they say to me, because I thought, what did I do? What was wrong with me?
Right.
Which, you know, understandable when you're a psychopath. But he wasn't giving up the good. Like, he wasn't telling me why. So anyway, summer holiday had gone. We were back at uni. We'd all had a break and everything. While studying in the university library, I bumped into one of his friends. Let's call her Steph. I used to get on with her quite well. We got talking and she was giving the goods. So straight after we broke up,
we do.
stick together. I'd been informed straight after breaking up with me, he was in another relationship with a girl. And who did this girl turn out to be? Kenise.
Oh no.
My housemate from the previous year.
With the red lipstick?
With the red lipstick,
That
the tan
motherfucker.
complexion.
No.
And the thing is, that's what threw me off the most. She was this gorgeous woman, you know, all the looks, all the intelligence. She was a politics student. She was going far. He was a business student. I mean, he had the height, the 6'4", but not being horrible. He didn't have the looks, but he's an absolute sweetheart, so he made up for it. I'm not that shallow.
Gotcha. Writing this down. Not
Nope.
that shallow.
Sometimes. But the thing was, he came from money. A lot of money.
Yeah.
Like,
Was
he
this
was
like
a year
Romeo
younger than
and
me.
Juliet type of thing, or like, well, no, because they both had money.
Yeah, they were
What is
both
this
really
money?
rich.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, he was a year younger than me
Mm-hmm.
and drove an Audi.
Nice.
People my age at that time drove their feet.
Okay, wait a second.
That's what we could afford.
Wait a second.
Fred
He drove
Flintstone
an
in it.
Audi and he took you to Witherspoon's for your first date?
Yeah.
How dare he?
What a
I'm
I-
just kidding.
motherfucker.
No.
I'm just kidding. But
You're way better off.
Definitely. Been single ever since. Totally not eating me up. So yeah. So my thought was that must have appealed to her. Because she came from Malta. Malta's a very small place. Not super rich, but you know. So there was that. I'd found out that they'd been doing it behind my back.
Oh
So
no.
they hadn't even waited until they were over. So this Steph girl, she got dinner. She got dinner.
oh, she got Witherspoon.
She got paid for her info.
Oh yeah.
God damn it. Money can't buy class.
Really can't. But then I found out that over the summer holiday, they'd met each other's parents. He'd flown her to America because he was half American, half Sicilian. Very adamant about it. I was like, cool, you're in the middle of fucking back-ass nowhere in Wales. No one gives a fuck where you're from, mate. And he'd gone to Malta to meet hers. So obviously things are getting a bit serious. I still have yet to find out what they're doing now, or even if they're a thing anymore.
Hopefully they have miserable lives.
Hopefully.
They got fat
hopefully.
and disgusting and they just look at each other and have nothing to
Had
talk
ugly
about.
babies. So that got me a lot because when we were dating, even talking about engagement rings, still wouldn't introduce me to his parents, still wouldn't meet my parents. I was like, all right. But what she'd also told me, because obviously naturally when we started dating, I thought he was bisexual. Turns out, while also the reason he was diddling Kenise was because he didn't like the diddling. I don't want to be too
Love the
vulgar.
term diddling.
It's very nice.
Great term.
It's a very adorable way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To diddle people, you know.
To diddle.
But that brain fart.
No, you're saying that
Yes.
that he, while he was diddling Kenise,
Yes. I keep having brain farts.
oh, it's okay.
Let me have a snifter of my drink. See if that wakes me up.
No, you're fine. So you guys have been seeing each other. They've been sleeping around together behind your back.
Yes, the reason why he turned to Kenise. When I started dating him, he was bisexual. You know the whole stigma, oh, bisexual can't be trusted, blah, 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 blah. Well, unfortunately, he lived up to that.
Right.
He decided he didn't want to date me anymore because he decided he only liked lady bits now. All of a sudden.
I'm so sorry.
So, I know. So, that didn't really get to me because I was like, okay, that's something that I can't change. You know, that's fine. But anyway, all that happened, went on, finished university, got a degree, now work in retail with a degree. You know, logic.
Do you still have your love for Dark Souls 3 though, or is it completely ruined?
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't able to touch it for a while until recently. I did go back to it. Mm-hmm. However, karma seems to have bit me in the ass somewhat, because I went back to it and I found out from our PvP days I was being reported for hacking. I had found...
No.
So when I logged in, because I thought, you know what, it's over and done with, going to go over it, let's play this game again, because I loved it. Mm-hmm. Went in, and it told me my account was under investigation. So it meant I had to delete all of my saved data.
Oh, it's awful.
I'd put 500 hours into this game.
No.
So there's a lot of shit to lose. But however, it made me realise that now I am getting my completely new clean slate.
Nice.
That is so true, though. Fuck that Diddly Dan.
Diddly Dan.
Fuck them all.
You know what, though? I totally get that. Like, I feel like that cliche that's out there, it doesn't exist for every single person, but it definitely does exist for certain people that are exploring and they're trying to figure out what their preferences are, and they're not ashamed to, like, kind of do that exploration. But when you're that young, you just kind of do that, and you don't necessarily think about who you're doing that to. You know?
Yeah.
And so that's really, really unfortunate and really like really difficult, you know, for the other person that has a better control over what they want and like what they're looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel that. But yeah, so you have picked it up. You had to start all back over. Are you still able to prevent yourself from falling off of these ledges because you are elite?
Too late.
Too elite.
I might have fallen off once.
Gotcha.
Duh.
Might have fallen off once.
Once. That's just to make people feel better about themselves. Though. Let's be real. You're like, I'll fall off so that all of you plebs can feel welcomed into this world. You know?
Feel it's okay to not be elite.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't know.
Exactly. So you haven't kept up with them or anything, but it sounds like Dark Souls
I kept them all
brought you
blocked.
together. You've moved on, but Dark Souls has still stayed apart.
Yeah. Dark Souls has always been there for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, awesome.
Well, thank you for
so much, dude.
sharing the time of the game.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
That was a good one.
It was very diddly. Unicorn Gaming.
I diddly do like it. Dude, you know what's weird is before you even joined, like tonight, because we do we meet up a little bit before the broadcast. Mm-hmm. But I swear to God, Brian, tonight didn't I say diddly something to you?
Yes, you did.
I
totally did.
I was just saying like diddly to Brian. Like I was just like, hey, we want to diddly do what? But I didn't mean that. I wasn't talking about like it being like diddling. You know?
Yeah.
I was just.
No one took it like that.
I think I was dead flandering, but like
there's just a lot of diddling in the universe right now. It's just.
Now that I think
diddling.
about this though for a second. When you think about Ned Flanders from The Simpsons and how much diddling he did.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. He did too much diddling. That's all he did was diddle.
What are we
Disgusting
talking
man.
about? All
Yeah.
right.
Diddler.
You can find Unicorn Gaming on Beam.Pro /Unicorn Gaming or on Twitter at Unicorn Gaming 93. That's going to do it for episode 15 of the Backspace Nomads podcast. Thanks for checking us out and hanging out. You can find us on Twitter at Backspace Nomads or our blog, backspacenomads.blog. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye, everybody.
Bye.